What's up, Glow Up Tribe? It's your girl Coco Flowers, and I think I got a word for somebody today. Listen, see, somebody who I'm speaking to today has had people around them who has done them dirty, and you're starting to see who these people really are to you and how much hate and envy they really have towards you. So you start pulling yourself back, and you might have started addressing some of these things with these people. But see, the problem with you being an adult and addressing things with people, because that's how you learned in your healing that transparency, effective communication, healthy conflict resolution, that's the way to understanding. And so you're no longer living in confusion, keeping your mouth shut when there's things that you need clarity on. See, if you don't stand for something, you will fall for anything. And if you ain't standing on business, and that's why you are not in my life anymore. See, some of us have made a choice to heal. And a lot of us are no longer in a season where we're willing to sacrifice ourselves to maintain codependent relationships with people who only want to trauma bond with you and keep you in a situation to where you can no longer get out of the bucket, okay? You can't get out of that space. You can't get away from your past because these people, they keep pulling you back in the bucket. They are the crabs in the bucket who don't want you to get too far away from them. They don't want you to get too far ahead of them. These are the same people who tried to cause you mental turmoil. They might have called you crazy. They might have spread lies about you. They might have gossiped about you. They might have tried to get people to gang up against you. They might have tried to tell you about yourself, like calling you crazy. You know what I mean? These are things, this is manipulation at its finest, okay? And all of us have been there. But some of us, the difference is some of us know that side of us, yeah, that side of us is in us, but it's not us. And you're no longer wanting to respond like that broken version of you when you were a child. See, a lot of these people are still stuck somewhere in their childhood. And you can see it in the way that they respond. And I'm a testament to that. See, I just had a situation where I responded so out of character. It reminded me of when I was reckless, when I was a reckless, 15, 16, 17-year-old, and it was something about the situation that triggered me and had me literally respond like that, that hurt and scared version of myself then. And it was in me to try to defend myself. And so I would put up a fight, literally fight sometimes, And at this big age that I am now, I responded like I did when I was a teenager. And it caused me to look at myself, and it caused me to look at why I responded that way. And it brought up a lot of hurts from that time in my life. And it caused me to self-reflect. See, but the problem with these people is they won't take accountability for the things that they do because they're scared to face themselves. They're scared of themselves. They don't want to face those dark demons because then they will have to acknowledge that I'm hurt, that I did not respond appropriately. I could have handled that better. I should take accountability. Maybe I should apologize. That's the difference between you and them. They wanted to keep you walking on eggshells in their presence, wondering where you stood with them. But the real question is, where do they stand with you? See, they wanted to make it feel like they were the prize. But see, God hid you. He hid you. It was something about you that kept you small and timid, and they thought that they could get over on you. They thought that they could play you. They tried to play with your mental, even when you recognized what was going on. They wanted to see if those, manipulative tactics that always got you would still get you. But see, this time you responded differently. This time they knew it was over. They knew something was different. You changed on them. You didn't respond the same way that you normally would. And typically, they're going to tell you you've changed. But see, and it's because the response that they're used to getting, you didn't give it to them this time. Oh, and why did you do that? Why did you go heal on them? This makes me think about, when you start healing and you start setting boundaries and you start responding, and maybe some of you are speaking up about your story and you're speaking up about, coming and speaking your truth about the people who tried to come against you. A lot of them being, the people in your closest circle, your family, your parents, your siblings, your friends, your exes, other family members in, the dynamics of your close knit. And you changed, you did something different. And so when you start setting these boundaries and maybe even speaking your truth, some of you are, just like me, and you're starting to get more active on your social media platforms, whether you're posting memes or you're actually, speaking to people, you're putting your face on the camera and you're being bold and you're stepping out on faith, and you're in a season where you're not shamed. You're healing, you're growing, you're evolving. Some of these people told you not to tell your story. Some of them told you to shut up. And this is a trigger warning because this made me think, for anybody out there who's ever been taken advantage of, okay, you know where I'm going, trigger warning. If you are a victim of that, a lot of times your perpetrator tries to instill fear in you so that you do not tell a soul what they did to you. They want you to live in shame, okay? And so what does the victim do? Because she feels like, or he, it's something that I did to deserve this. So, you might have not said anything. Or if you did say something, they didn't want to believe you. So then that fear, that shame is even further reinforced because you should have listened to what your perpetrator said. Okay? Then you're living in more shame and fear and guilt, okay, surrounding what happened to you. Then 10, 20 years down the line, some of these people decide to come up and speak and tell their story. And what does society say? Oh, I don't believe you because all this time went by and you just now speaking up? That's bullshit. But what I want to say about that is that it's no different when these people come against you in the way that they choose to, whether they wanted to, make you feel like you weren't worth anything. Okay? If they wanted to make you feel like you were crazy, that something was wrong with you, and then they tell you not to speak your truth, they're no different, okay? They're still a perpetrator who's trying to use manipulation tactics to keep you from healing your wounds that they have inflicted on you. They want you to live with these deep, dark secrets, living in shame, feeling like you're not capable, that God does not love you, that you are alone. And that's why they do the things that they do. That's why they say the things that they say. That's why they try to gang up on you, to make you believe the lie. Like the enemy has been allowed to use them to make you believe all these lies about yourself. And I'm here to tell you that it is in God. It is only in God that you will be able to pull yourself out of this grave that they wanted you to create for yourself. They wanted you to self-sabotage by the words that they spoke over your life. They wanted you to self-sabotage by making you feel abandoned and rejected. Okay? They wanted you to need them for validation for who you were. And when you didn't receive the validation, they wanted you to be left and lost and confused, dependent on them to give you a little bit of something, give you a little bit of crumbs. But baby, you have rose. You are no longer a caged bird. You have exited the cage. Okay? You are flying and you are soaring so high that none of them can touch you. And the truth will come out, and God will vindicate you, and he will prepare the table for you in the presence of your enemies. And they will have to confess what it is that they have done to come against you in order to free themselves from the spiritual bondage that they are in because they allowed the enemy to use them. See, they're going to have to come to God, and that's what you're for. You came in the mix, and God used you because he knew that when you got to where he already knew you were going to get to, they were going to have to come and bow before his knees to be free again because they tried it with you and they failed. They thought they won, but they failed. And they owe you an apology. And you keep your foot on their neck until they give you what you deserve. But until they get there with God, you continue to pray that they be delivered and that they be healed. Because all that is just a broken spirit who's lost and who's still in the dark. And they deserve the grace and forgiveness that God has given you. And that's why you will be blessed. And that's why the table will be prepared. Because no matter what they did to you to try to hurt you, no matter the level of betrayal and the depths they went to get you to where they wanted you to be, God had bigger plans for you. And no matter what they did, no matter how hard they tried, no matter how much money they wasted, God will get the glory. I love you. Peace.